everybody, welcome back. Yeah, it was an interesting night. I'm just going to dig right into this and give you some food for thought, big nuggets on this one. So it's not a big mystery, the things that I've seen in my life and been backwards and seen demons. It's not uncommon. The same as seeing angels. It's not uncommon. And I don't take that lightly, please. I do not take that lightly. People have their opinions on things. That's okay. I'm not even digging into that today. My emails have been blowing up on a lot of good and a lot of ridiculous. That's not where we're going. So last night, I don't know, it was roughly 9:30, 10 o'clock Central Time. So as I'm going through and I was actually trying to find a tablet and I couldn't find it. So I sit down on the bed and you go through those thoughts. Okay, I just came from home. What did I do with this stuff? Trying to find it. Can't find it anywhere. Then it dawns on me, I left pretty much everything at home. And not just that, water, and you name it. I mean, I left a lot of stuff. Because yesterday, I was uneasy. And I had a heavy feeling. And I'm still feeling this way. I mean, it's like I'm trying to be cheerful about things and give it, but this ain't a cheerful moment. What I'm about to tell you, may God guard my tongue and let me speak nothing but His truth. What I'm about to tell you. As always, I will not give you the name, so you're probably already know, and if you've been watching these videos or this is your first time on it, I will never give a demonic demon's name. I'm looking outside and I'm hearing this noise, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, am I awake? Am I asleep? What's going on? And to be honest with you, I didn't even know where my phone was. I was even trying to find it. I set it down somewhere, and you would think a small truck, but when you're moving stuff around and putting it, because normally I leave it there or I put it in my cradle in the back on the holder where I do the videos in. So normally it's all secured all the way around. So my windshield curtains are still open, my bunk curtains are open. It's not like I'm in bed, I'm still fiddling around. You'd think by that time I should have been, but I'm looking for this particular tablet. So I come up there and I hear the noise again, and I'm like, what is that? And I see this grayish color, like fog. And I'm looking over at the trucks next to me, and I look at the truck to my left, and they're looking upward, so I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one seeing this. And I'm looking, seeing what's walking, and I recognize this demon. Now, my thing is from my understanding, and I'll get to the purpose of this demon after the tribulation time, I expect this demon to be here right before the end of the final hour when the new kingdom's being lowered down. That close, I expect this demon, because this isn't like a little peon demon here, people. This is a big demon. So at this point, I recognize it, and I'm I'm moving my fingers around, and I'm moving my hands, and I'm looking, going, okay, am I dreaming? Is this a vision? What is going on here? Because I'm for real. There's times I go into these visions and stuff. Like I said, I can touch stuff. I mean, it's the craziest, weirdest thing ever. And I can understand why people don't believe it, but then again, I'll bring you Bible scriptures. If you believe the Bible and you believe every word, then you please explain to me. This is my favorite one. It speaks of a donkey speaking. If you don't believe anything else, then how do you believe that? It just doesn't make sense. But, again, I'm not here to prove right or wrong. You're going to believe what you're going to believe, and that's it. So many people are being deceived by these other channels and this other stuff that's being said. I mean, it's just like, listen to it. I'm not on here changing events. I'm giving the events and I'm leaving it lay, and that's where it is. I have tablets dated back from the 1900s. No, 2014. And I seen that stuff come to pass in 2021. I seen some stuff in 2020, 2002, 2003. I have seen things unfold. Craziness. Not so much the stuff I wrote in 2014. I'm talking about previous even to that. I've seen those things unfold in those particular dates and years. So it doesn't surprise me one bit. Here's the thing. This demon is a demon of darkness, gathering. Comes and takes. And I'm going to give you the earthly name of this thing, but never there. If you look it up, that's totally on you. As much as Pilate did, washed his hands of it. If you want to look it up and you want to toy around with demonic stuff, and you want to go in there and figure out how you can get strength and all this stuff, then go ahead, because I've said it, and I'll say it one last time, and I'm never going to repeat it again. You have no idea the consequences you pay when you deal with the devil. Luckily, I was able to get out of it. Luckily, the Lord found favor over me and got me out of it. What if you don't have that opportunity to get out of it? Just saying, think about it. Well, as we move on a little bit further, at this point, I'm like still staring at my bunk going, I'm going to see my body laying there. This is just a vision. This is something I'm seeing. Is it happening or is it not happening? Now, people, I even took a drink of water through this experience. And I watched this creature turned around, and as it turned around, it was like I was in my teens again, staring dead at its face. What we call here on earth is the Grim Reaper, the collector of death, is one of the satanic names. I know I said I wouldn't give it to you, but I got a feeling people are going to look it up anyway. Here's the problem. If you look up this demon, I'm going to give you the consequence to it. You look up this demon and you call upon this demon to see it, it may just take you with it. If you're not 100% with Christ, and I'm about to run down this real quick to you too. The Lord said through this, because at this point I go quick and I'm like, I didn't even want to step out of my truck to go ask anybody else if they seen what I seen. I'm telling you, I don't want no part of this thing. It takes a lot to get me shaken up, and this shook me. I mean, I literally had chills after watching this thing. Something dark is about to happen. Something bad is about to happen, and I believe that's the heaviness. When 9/11 happened, I had that morning, I had the biggest feeling, like I was Eeyore, per se, from Winnie the Pooh. I didn't feel like doing anything. This morning, I had to force myself to get out of bed. I literally went through 3 different alarms before I finally got up. The only thing I could do is thank the Lord it wasn't a live unload, because I would have been in trouble. So now I'm running behind schedule. It's not anything new with trucking. That song, Eastbound and Down, loading up and trucking, always comes to mind on these sites. You got a long ways to go and a short time to get there, because that's about where I'm at today. I got a long ways to go in a short time distance to get there. When you lose time out here, it's hard to make it up. I know some drivers say, well, that's impossible. Yeah, sometimes you lose some miles here and there. But I basically lost about 2 hours that I'm pretty sunk. There's no way to make that up. Tomorrow's the only way I'm going to make it up. And I'm not going to make it up. I just got to use tomorrow's time. So, I quickly go to prayer. And I said, Lord, am I truly seeing what I'm seeing? He says, yes. I said, well, why? What's the purpose of this, Lord? He said, collection. It's going to collect here real soon. And I said, well, Lord, I don't know about this 3 day of darkness. And I don't know about this gray mist, silver mist, purple mist, their mist, everybody else's mist. I'm not taking it lightly. I'm surely not. More people, this one prophet is giving more details on it. And I'm not going to give this person's page because certain people, I believe, are totally looking up people's revealing their prophecy, and they're using it as their own. I'm convinced. And you people might say, well, no, Nelson. Well, yes, I'm totally convinced. And people calling us bullies and all this stuff. And one particular person puts this guy on there, well, now you're going to deal with me. My thing is, I don't have to deal with you. I don't have to deal with anybody. You don't know the truth. But here's the truth. Listen to what I just said. This demon is here to collect. Massive. That's its deal. This thing doesn't come. When it's here, it's gathering like a vacuum. Massive amount of people. It's not just this little skeleton thing with the black cloak on and holding that sickle. Nah, this thing's coming with hooks, hooking you in and taking you with you. Believe it or not, it's up to you. I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to just to give this warning, and I'm going to cut this video. And I know you guys have never seen me like this. I don't like getting in this realm. It's bothering me right now to even tell you. I just want you guys to know what's happening. I want you to know what the Lord said, and I'm exiting out of this video. People, this isn't. I don't know what's coming. I truly don't know what's coming out of this. I just know something bad is going to happen. Because I know in the process when I was sitting with the Lord, He says the poison has entered the water. Okay, well, He's told me this back in 2020, 2021, 2022, and then at the beginning of this year. Poison will enter the water. Well, I believe that's the train wrecks. I truly do. Because He said, as I told Darlene, as I was writing it down, I said, He's telling me not even well water. Because I just spoke, but we don't have to worry about it because we have well water and we have the filters. I mean, we got like 3 different filters on our system. Overkill, maybe, I don't know. I don't take precautions. Even the salt that I put in there, I make sure it covers taste, odors, it's like 5 different things on it. Costs a little bit more, but that's just the price you pay for what you want. Now, I've been speaking about for a while, and honestly, people, back in 2016, He gave me, from that year on, we are going to, and I started doing research. I started doing research on the big poultry manufacturing companies. I started doing research on all of this stuff. And some people are putting it out right now like this is news right now. And I went on there and I told them, I said, please go back and do your research because this is not new. This stuff is not new. They're going to take away our food source. And this is the last I'm going to speak on this. They're going to take away our food source. They're going to poison our water sources because they want total control. This is bringing in New World Order, One World Order, whatever you want to call it. This is what this is bringing in, which makes me go back and sit and think that explains the demon that came. Totally explains it. So, we are going to have war on the United States. Go back to when the Lord showed me the vision of the Father unscrewing the Capitol building like a jar. He's not done removing the people. He's not done removing the White House. I literally seen last night the White House under fire. Don't know if it's going to catch on fire, if it's going to be attacked. I seen water flushing through there. I seen water flushing through states on states on states. Corrupted, the Lord said. Corruption, corruption, corruption. I have seen the weather balloon stuff. I asked him, I said, Lord, what is this? He says, the same as he has told me since 9/11. He said, watch what the left hand does. They trick you, they betray you, because you're not watching the right hand. So I said, okay, what's going on with this weather balloon? Do you think it's a coincidence that we go all the way through and this thing, we destroy it after it's done surface, after it's did everything it needs to do. But now they're unrolling all this stuff and they're not seeming to find too much of anything. Because what were they flying around outside of that we weren't paying attention to? Because it's like, look at the balloon, but yet you forget to look at the drones and stuff that's flying around that we don't see. They're bringing all this UFO garbage into place. Area 51, full of it. You don't know what they're creating. I mean, look what Elon Musk is creating. Go and Google the new creation that he's doing with these pod things that I told you about. He's making his own army. I don't know what he's making, but they're creepy looking. Naturally, things are going to go bad. Someone sent me a video of this woolly mammoth thing. They wanted to know if I thought it was real or if it was just some kind of robotic thing with fur on it. I don't know. It looks real to me. And I guess this is something China or something, which doesn't surprise me. I'm big on movies and bringing movies into today's time. Look at Jurassic Park. Did they find something that they were able to come into and bring DNA and mix it to make something? I don't know. Is it far-fetched? It could be. But I say Google that and look at it. Make your own judgment. I don't know. The thing's weird looking. I mean, look at Hollywood. Look at the stuff they make. I mean, you're convinced it's that real. Look at George Lucas back in Star Wars. Look how realistic that stuff was. I'm not going to go down a rampage on this thing today. I put the boomerangs away today, people. I mean, really, I'm being serious right now. This is disturbing. I mean, it's not too often I come on here and give prophetic stuff, because if I'm not sure, I'm not going to get it. And when I am sure of something, if someone sends me something and I go on there, I don't have no problems stepping up to the plate. What are you going to do to me? Nothing. Take me out of this earth? Go ahead. And I'm not overconfident, I'm not cocky, I'm just 100% sure I'm going home. I'd rather be home than here. This planet is so disgusting anymore. I see why God's here on the earth. And that's why I have a hard problem when people sit there and say, well, the Lord came on this day. Did he now? I wish sometimes people could see what I see. I truly do. And I wish people could go to heaven and see it, to truly see that judgment room. I seen a pastor and his wife came up there one time, and I was standing there speaking with a certain person and the Lord. And now this is the Father's here on the earth. He's if you're looking at it, he'd be sitting on the left-hand side where the Father sits. Please don't blow up my email. Please don't blow up the comments on this and say God and Jesus is one. I really, matter of fact, I don't even know if I'm probably even going to look at too many comments on this one. Because I really don't have the patience right now for just brutal nonsense. And I'm not going to ask for forgiveness for all the stuff I'm saying right now. People, I don't know how else to tell you that something horrific is coming. I mean, I don't know what it's just something bad is about to happen here on these soils. Something bad is about to happen across the United States. Something bad is about to happen across the world. The Lord said no one shall be spared of this. It doesn't matter what time zone, what time you go by, if you're ahead, behind the United States is going to be hit. I seen a fiery ball, which I seen a NASA headline on the news. I was staring through a window and I seen a TV. NASA gave a headline of a meteorite falling. Some kind of, I don't know if it said woodworm, something like that. I don't even recall. I just remember seeing the words. But I'm just giving you an idea, and I'm not 100%. And again, go look it up. If it's out there yet, if it's out there, I'm going to be very interested to hearing about that, because that just means this is closer and coming. I have not looked this up. I give you my hand raised up in oath. I under God himself, and I know where God will send me if I'm a liar, and I know what happens to liars in the pit of hell. And let me tell you, just the little bit that I talked about getting your tongues ripped out, you have no idea what's about to wait anybody that lies. No idea. I'll give you one little more spot on the liars in there, when they're ripping your scalp open and busting your skull open, and they're putting these like centipede looking things with claws down inside of your brain, and you're going to feel that running around in there because you use your brain to lie. They're going to torture you with your brain. Hopefully you'll never have to see it. If you do, you're going to remember everything I'm telling you anyways, because you don't forget it in hell. Trust me on that one. And if you think I'm going to go there just to do a video for nothing, I mean, and I'm not taking it lightly. It's not like it's Rumble and all this stuff where, you know, Rumble pays and all that stuff. You don't see me on Rumble at all. I'm not on it for the money. I'm not on it for the fame. I'm not on it for anything else, because I've taken a lot of bull all the way across from the beginning of this till now. It doesn't bother me. It hurts, don't get me wrong. I got more emotional today than I've ever had in my life. Sometimes I wish I could take that part of me back. But I ask the Lord daily to mold and sculpt me. Take it away, take anything from me. People, places, things. I don't care what it is. Remove it. I don't want it. I don't need it. It's nonsense. Where am I going with this? I'm going to tell you right now. I'm getting close to what the Lord told me at the end of this. He gave me fair warning to tell people to stop doing things that you're not 100% truthful on. He's saying, look at what you're doing. Look what's in your life. Stop standing on both sides of a borderline. Now I relate to that one. I did stop one time because it was on my bucket list that I've spoken. Some people know some of them, but there's two that I have never told anybody. One of the things on my bucket list was to be in two states at one time. So, and not like I'm out here going, I gotta do this bucket list before I die. Now, it's just like your New Year's resolution. revolution. I don't know what it is, but anyways, it's just like that. How many people actually fulfill it? I'm going to start and give me a gym membership. I'm going to go work out. No, you're not. You're going to lose interest. You're going to start eating again what you were eating before because you have no discipline. You need somebody to go with you. They hire these trainers, but the trainers are expensive, so they get a package deal at first so they can understand everything, but then they fall short because they got nobody to go with them, because nobody else wants to commit to 365 days. Nobody else really don't want to commit to Jesus 365 days. Let alone when we add leap year and we're exhausted because now we got an extra day, because we want to complain, we want to moan, we want to cry about everything that's in our life. Not me saying it, it's Jesus. Just hear me out. I'm just a messenger. You want to throw darts at me? Go ahead, because I put my armor on before I came and did this. I actually checked my shields very closely, and I asked for the guardian angel behind me to spread her wings, wrap it around me, protect my back, and look and see what is coming, because I don't have time to look around me right now. I just got to continue to look forward and finish this message. So, through all this, here's the issue with this. When this stuff starts to take place, if we're still here, when this stuff starts to take place, not like you're going to be able to cook this stuff outside on a grill or anything like that, because you're going to draw everybody. It's going to be like the Night of the Living Dead, that TV series. It goes way back to the 1960s ones. I think it was 1960, 67, somewhere in there. Black and white version that we did today. Walking Dead and all that kind of nonsense. Well, exactly what's going to happen. So you're going to have to get creative. You're really going to have to get creative. Because this is going to lead into taking on the chip. This is going to lead into one currency. This is going to lead into total chaos, people. And they're not going to have a bit of problem taking you out of this world if you don't obey. Because if you don't have the markings, if they can't scan your hand for you to go into your job, you won't even be able to get into the fences. You won't even be able to walk up to a vending machine and if you have money, it's not going to work, because they're taking that away. Slowly but slowly, do you see any more vending machines that takes money? They're taking that stuff away. You'll see. I remember back when the Lord told me this, and I'm going to wrap this up. The Lord told me, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, your days would become short and your night will become even shorter. You won't know the difference between night and day. When you lay down, you will feel like you just lay down and it's time to get up. And I've noticed years of this now. Sunday night when I laid down, it was like the alarm's going off and I'm going, you gotta be kidding me. Not just because I know this, it's true. Exactly how I feel some days. It's like I just laid down for a split second and then I'm up. I gave you that video yesterday. Check yourself. Examine yourself. Couldn't tell you how many people watched it. I think people look at titles, headlines, and that's what they see. So you got to understand something here. Every one of these titles I put on there, unless it's a prayer for somebody, and I add something into it, then I'll add something at the end of it or whatever. Jesus tells me what to put on that title of the video. Don't come at me if something happens, because it's clearly there. I'm not going to give you a bunch of false dates and then backpedal out of it. Well, come says this. No, No, I understand what come means. I understand what people say. I'm not total ignorant here. Don't roll an educational ball towards me and say, well, because of this and that, because I'll roll it right back to you. Because there's a lot of things that I know. I may look like the Eeyore per se on the outside, but you'd be surprised what goes on inside my mind. You can have everything. You can have that relationship with Jesus. That's why I call him my friend. Why I call him my Savior, my Messiah. I call him the King of Kings because that's rightly what he is. And he's all these things to me. And different times I need those parts of him. I need my King. There's times when I need my friend. There's times when I need that Savior. There's times when I need that shepherd. He's all in one. Pray. Pray, pray, pray. And don't stop praying until something happens. I'm still praying for one particular lady and her kids. Until something happens, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to quit praying. I know the Lord's bringing the right person to buy her house. I know it, without a doubt. And I just keep asking anybody that comes across this, because I'm going to put it on the title also again, pray for her house to sell. And we're going to just keep going. I know I'm going to keep praying because I want to see that miracle work in her life. I truly do. So, it said stop standing on both sides. Pick a side. Hot, cold. Pick one. Can't be on both no more, he says. The borderline. I don't know if I said it or not, my brain's in a lot of places. I actually stopped on a state line. And it says, now entering this state, now entering this one. And I stood on both sides. So I got to stand in two different states at one time. I thought it was pretty cool. But that's just me. Things like that is what excites me. So, you have to understand, you cannot believe everything you're hearing on the news. You cannot believe everything that's happening because it's not what it seems. It's that right hand that you don't see, but you see what the left hand's doing. A magician is good because he can drop stuff in his hand quickly without you seeing. It's a trick move of the hands. How they place feet. How they place somebody's body. They know all this stuff because of the illusions. They know how to do it. Mirrors play a big part in the demonic realm and the magic realm, which if you're doing magic, you're part of the demonic realm. Right, exactly. Cartoons even included. You let your kids watch Mickey Mouse up there with the magician's hat and stuff, and you look at Disney today and you look how corrupted it is. It stands for everything but what it should stand for. You be the judge of it. You want to let your kids watch that nonsense while they overcost and people are maxing out credit cards, taking loans on their house just to go to Disney? Somebody has lost reality here. Look what it stands for. They're putting all these electric trucks out here, these electric cars, these electric scooters and all this stuff. Again, I had an email sent to me and this just happened. These electric scooters all were catching on fire. Well, do you really think, and I seen these electric trucks yesterday, I went to get on my email, and you know how when you're on Google and you see something, so I scrolled down and I looked at it, I said, oh, these are the Tesla trucks. Well, Cheeto, Doritos and all that stuff, they have these trucks in place. Good luck. good luck. The only way I see this stuff working, if he figures out a way to make these things last longer on charging, and they charge a lot faster than what he says, because according to the research, it takes like almost 2 days to charge one of those semi-trucks completely. Look at people's having trouble with the electric. But let me ask everybody something. If this power grid goes down, your electric car's useless. Do you understand what they're doing? They're tearing away fossil fuels to lock us down. If you live in the state of Florida, just hear me out. It's part of the reason why I'm glad I got out of there. You got 3 ways out of there: boat, car, air. Well, if they're locking everything down, you ain't driving out of the state of Florida. You only have one way up to get out of there. It's easy to lock Florida down. It really is. Think about air. If they shut air down, you're not leaving air, and you really think you're going to be able to leave by boat? Good luck. What do you think the Coast Guard's out there? What do you think? What do you think naval ships and all this stuff that they will put in place? What are you going to do? You stand a good chance of them probably sinking your boat. Do you want to be in the water? You know why there's shark attacks and all this stuff happening? Because the water is slowly drying up. Don't take my word for it. Start looking around you. I'm telling you, people, this is the stuff I've been seeing for years, and I'm giving it to you all now, every bit of it. You have to really start looking. I've been talking about the food rising. I've been talking about quantities getting smaller and smaller, which packaging, food. Look at cauliflower. Look how small it is, and the price they keep raising. Look at eggs. We keep running out and buying this stuff, and I know I'm with you, but is it really worth to pay that kind of money? Put applesauce in your cakes. Look up recipes with cakes with applesauce. Pancake, muffins. Same stuff. You just gotta get smart. But they're gonna watch what we're doing. I forget what Darlene did the other day, and again, her phone pulls up exactly what it was that she was doing. Go to Google, 5G. I told you. It's meant for communication. It was never meant for us. But they figured out they're going to watch us. You know how many satellites are up in the air? Good luck with that one. This stuff's pretty good. Key lime sparkling water. No, it's not an endorsement. I just wanted you guys to see what I was drinking, see if anybody's drinking this stuff. It's actually pretty good. It's one of those things, even when it's warm, it still tastes good. Okay, now there's my $1 million endorsement. I'm gonna go retire on an island somewhere, castaway, eat coconuts, taking plenty of starter stuff so I can have crab that I really don't care for. But hey, it's food I can survive off of bananas all day if I had to. That'd be kind of cool to get on them. Never mind. I said no boomerangs. Alright. So, start paying attention in your stores. Start paying attention. Go to your thrift stores, Goodwill. And I'm just telling you this. Do whatever you want. Get yourself, go to a hardware store or anywhere, get yourself at least 2 5-gallon buckets with lids. Put yourself a trash bag in these things. Put candles. Something to light these candles with. lighter, matches. I recommend a couple cheap lighters. In case the matches get wet. That's why the trash bag goes inside of there. Tie it up real good. And put some ties on it. We'll put you some food. Canned food. Spam. Pork in a can. Pork and beans. Chili beans. Whatever. Something that's going to last. If you're ever in a situation, you may be watching this video after you're left, and the God's people are taken out of here. You are watching this. If a can top is popped on the top or the bottom, and I mean it looks like a mushroom type thing, don't eat it. It's no good. They put dates on it. People go off the date, but if that top is not popped up, you'll be all right to eat it. Trust me, I've ate plenty of stuff like that. I'm still here, and I know people's going to question the whole thing of that one. Joking, but there may be somebody. Where I'm getting to, candles will keep you warm. First aid kits, make sure the stuff's in there. You won't have to cook. Yeah, it might not taste so good cold. At least it's better than nothing. One of the buckets, I would put knives that you can flay stuff with, fishing string, hooks. You can tie that stuff to a stick and go out there and fish. How are we going to cook it? Well, good question. If you're hungry enough, eat the dang thing raw. And I'm being serious. Unless you can find somewhere that you can tuck into that's not, but then you got to worry about animals coming at you too when you're cooking stuff out along water lines and stuff. Just saying, people eat sushi, isn't that stuff raw? Gross. I don't know. Just giving you ideas. And I'm not saying prepare for doomsday. Some of you might want to. I had another video sent to me. Person's kind of not on, and I'm not doing it because it's personal. I'm doing it because what the Lord told me. Telling people, if you wake up, blah blah blah, just like in the Left Behind series and all that stuff. And I'm thinking, you can't even get dates and times right. I don't even understand how people, now I see why people follow the Pied Piper. And then you want to point fingers. The only problem is you're going to be held responsible. The only problem is with the person giving the false information. And you cause somebody else to stumble or sin off of falseness. Because I'm sorry. If you say 100% the Lord gives you something, 100%, this is going to happen, the Lord told me, and it doesn't happen because you misunderstood a word or you misunderstood a time, then to me, you're calling the Lord a liar. I'm sorry. If I came on here and said tomorrow, 100% the Lord told me tomorrow, before midnight strikes, before midnight, so it would have to happen by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, the Lord is coming to rapture his people. And all these people went out and did stupid stuff. The blood's on my head because you believed me. I'm responsible now. Why I don't give you a bunch of stuff, but I tell you to watch out for stuff. I'm telling you exactly what the Lord's telling me to tell you, all but the survival part, because let's just hope you're going to be ready to go home when he comes. I have clothesline I keep in a bucket, so I can string across to hang clothing up if it gets wet. I put Ziploc bags in there to where I can put my identification and stuff inside of a Ziploc bag, seal it up, and toss it in there in case it gets wet. In case I have to ditch the bucket and move with my backpack in case it gets wet. I know how to survive, and I will survive if I am left here for any reason. I'm not worried about it. I do know if you're left here, you won't die of starvation. You won't die of thirst. You're going to feel some pains like you've never felt. The only way we're going to die of this earth and be taken two ways. Losing your head, or the end time comes and you're not going to be able to plead anything. You're just going straight to hell. And if you think I'm kidding, look it up in Revelation. Look it up yourself. Read Revelation. Read it again. Read it again. Read it from the back to the front, middle to the front, middle to the back. And read it again in the same manner until you see exactly the truth of it. Have to move. And in the moving, you gotta be watching. This stuff is not new, what's happening. This food rising and the decreasing of sizes, this stuff has been going on for a while, people. This is nothing new at all. And I'm just here to tell you, this is nothing new. It's old. I mean, we've been seeing this for years. Pricing, I mean, you can really look at some stuff and the prices is so low, but a generic item is more expensive than the name brand. Because they figured out everybody was buying the off-brand stuff because it was cheap. Some of the stuff don't taste bad, some of it tastes worse. So I'd rather spend 5 cents more, and I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, good Lord, look how expensive a can of vegetables is these days. You see what they're doing? Anyways, here's the last part the Lord told me. And I will go back and watch it. If I left out anything, I will come on, just do a part 2. All I'm going to say is, I'm just going to call it the part 2 of whatever this title is. And I'm just going to call it part 2, and I'm just going to go on there. This is what I left out. I apologize, and I'm going to apologize now. If I left something out, I will come on, do the part 2, and I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to exit from the video. The Lord said this: repent, 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 repent. Make yourself ready. Make yourself ready. That's it. All right, guys. God bless you. Hopefully, I'm not trying to put fear in you. I'm trying to give you knowledge of this. I'm trying to give you understanding of what's coming. We got dark days coming, and I don't mean this darkness thing. It could be simply that. But I know that collector is here, and it's not just here for no reason, because this thing shouldn't be here. Not right now, so something bad is about to happen. Don't be deceived. Pay attention to what the government's doing. Pay attention to what's going on in the world. Pay attention to these fake crashes. Pay attention to the water lines. Pay attention to the food. Pay attention to the poultry places that caught on fire. Tyson, right along with it. How much money? Pay attention to one more thing. I'm going to give you this. All these stimuluses I've been talking about, and I told people, the Lord was warning me to tell people not to do these. So many people jumped on this bandwagon. Well, I'm going to get my college paid for, I'm going to get this. And now all of a sudden they burn through trillions of dollars. Trillions of dollars. How much money did they truly pay out in these payouts? Or are they paying off these poultry places that caught on fire? Hey, listen, all we need you to do is catch the building on fire. We're not telling you to destroy your product, your cans, and make it, oh, we just got to make it look good. And here you go. You really think they're going to give you all this free money? They put fear into people about the satellites. They put, get these before the time's up. Get them free. Yeah, but they don't tell you about all the cleaning you got to do on these things. They don't tell you about all the work that goes along with these things. There's so many wrongs with it. Do the homework. Do it yourself. I mean, you're going to do what you're going to do. All I say is pay attention to what's going on. We're about to enter into a troubled time. Why I said, I asked the Lord, why was it so big for me to ask people, put your states on here? And he gave me confirmation last night. Again, it's giving you an idea of who lives in your area, who's close to you. Been on this channel long enough, and you see, oh, well, this person lives in Florida. They live in Cocoa Beach. They live in Tampa. Well, I know I can travel. They know they can travel to me. We can put our stuff together and survive. Just saying. It doesn't matter. Not like I'm some kind of crazy stalker. If I was, I sure wouldn't give you my email. I sure wouldn't give you my phone number. I sure wouldn't give you anything under the unordinary. It's up to you. I know this. If I'm here, I'm going to disappear. I know exactly where I'm going, and I know how to get there, and I know what I'm taking with me. I'm not foolish about tomorrow, but I know I'm going to disappear. So if you're coming looking in the Ohio area for me, in Akron, Coventry, you're not going to find me. If I'm left here and the rapture comes, they're not going to find me. They're not going to imprison me, and they sure are not going to lock me down. Not going to happen. And they're not going to force me to take any chip. Good luck to you. God bless you guys. Again, I'm not putting fear into you. If you get uncomfortable with this message, then that's the Spirit speaking to you. Listen to what it's speaking. It will tell you what you need to work on in your life. Repent. Examine yourself. I told you guys a while back. Put it on paper. If you're, whatever it is, give it to the Lord. And then ask him, is there anything else that I missed, Lord? God bless you guys. Till the next one.